Are your kitchen and bathroom way overdue for a remodel? Well, I got the guy for you. Call John Sellers at First Response Contracting, 484-256-7136. Both residential and commercial services, and he's licensed and insured. Call him at 484-256-7136. First Response Contracting.
From real estate to real life and everything in between. The Brad Weisman Show. And now, your host, Brad Weisman.
Okay, there we go. We are back in the studio. I am so excited. We have a really cool guest in here today. I've been begging her to come in here forever to do a podcast, and she just kept saying, no, I can't come into the studio. I'm like, all right, whatever. So, no, that's kind of a lie, I think so, right? Is that kind of a lie?
A little bit.
A little bit of a lie. So we got Brenna Barkazzi. Is that right? Did
Barkazzi.
I say? Barkazzi. See, I knew I'd screw it up. Hugo, I think I screw up every single name that I have when somebody comes in. If everybody was just John Smith, it would be so much easier.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, you could be like Jacqueline Smith or something like that, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Sam Smith. Yeah.
Sam Smith, whatever. Yeah, keep it easy, right? Exactly. So, no, thanks for coming in here today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny. I was thinking about this. You're the first, I believe you're the first realtor in the studio that is not with Keller Williams.
From another office, yes. Well, everyone's been trying to get me to come.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah.
And I remember saying to you before when it was Real Estate and You, I said, I don't know if I can have another agent come in here. You know, but now that it's the Brad Wiseman Show, it's not always just about real estate.
And that's even my thoughts too. Like, I'm glad you changed the name too. It broadens, you know, your horizons for so much more guest wise and what in regards to what you can talk about.
Well, it's more about the person now than it is about what they do.
Right.
You just happen to be somebody that I see often, and you're out, you know, when we go out to different, networking events, things like that. And we always get along, and we always have a really good conversation about real estate, but it's more about the person than it is just about real estate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but let's dig into some real estate. All right. Let's dig in. So one of the things that you just blew me away just recently, you just told me this, is that you've been in real estate in some way, shape, or form since you're 15 years old?
Yeah. Yeah.
How in the world did that happen?
So I started with family, as a lot of people do. I started as an assistant to a family member.
Okay.
And
are they still in the business?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah.
No longer with them, though?
No longer with them.
Okay, got it. We won't go any further. We won't dig any more than that.
Yeah, but started really young as an assistant, and, you know, from shadowing and going to settlements and inspections and doing contracts. And I saw, you know, the money that was there.
Yeah. 15-year-old was seeing some big checks.
I was realizing, you know, I might want to get into this. I think I want to do this.
Yeah.
So I started taking the classes when I was 17.
Wow.
I went to school at night while I was still in high school. And then as soon as I turned 18, I took the test, you know, a couple times. Took me a couple tries to get
That's not the norm.
No.
That is not the norm. And not to say that you're not normal.
I'm not normal.
We could talk about that later on. That's a whole different podcast, right? No, but that's not the norm. Most people in this business get into the business after they've tried something else.
Yeah.
Or after they, you know, like myself, I was going to be a big rock star. It didn't happen, obviously.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I lost all my hair. But, you know, that was what I was going to do.
Right.
And then this was just something to do just in case. Mm-hmm. But you actually saw it at a young age, fell in love with the business, and now that's what you're doing.
I've been obsessed with houses in general since I was little. It sounds weird, but ever since I saw new construction going up, I was just fascinated.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, oh my God.
So that's something that really got you, the new construction. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. So now, when did you got your license at 17 or 18?
18. You're not allowed to get it at 17.
See,
but I was allowed to take the classes, so I did that.
You could take the classes, take the license at 18.
Yep.
And now you've been practicing for, is it 8 years? No. Or,
I just turned 27, so I don't know what the math is.
Yeah, like 8 years. Like 8 years.
Yeah.
No, actually, a little bit more, 9 years going on. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Do you still like it? Ooh, there's a pause.
I mean, yes, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm not a 9-to-5 person.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Okay.
And it's different every day, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Because if I was doing the same thing every day, I would get bored, and it's just not the life for me. So yeah, I love it. It's exciting. Every day is different. Every day is challenging.
Yeah.
You know, you run into new situations all the time. Septic problems, inspection problems.
Yes. It's amazing what we run into.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, and I'm 30 years plus, and I'll tell you, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. You're going to keep learning. It's one of the things that I think longevity for me to be in the business this long is because of that. It's because it's not the same thing every day, and it is different always, and it's changing constantly.
And even people that have, I mean, you saw 2008.
Yeah,
that
was not fun.
Right, and for COVID to happen, those are
those weren't fun either.
Completely different.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, we've never seen anything like that.
No, 2008 was rough. I always say it was very much a lot of character building was during those years because you went from making money to making no money, basically.
Yeah. It'll humble you.
Oh, it will. Absolutely. So let's get into one of the things that stuck out for me was your whole networking group that you're doing right now. And tell me about that. How did that get started? And what are you doing it for?
So it got started, I think back in May. And I have a partner that I do it with. His name's Tom. He owns, his own businesses, Home Hub Solutions. It would be shorter of a list to tell you what he doesn't do. I feel like he does it all. So he kind of reached out to me and wanted to start something like that. And I was all for it. I mean, I love being social. It's one of the ways I met you.
Absolutely.
Was out being social.
Building 24. Absolutely.
Or no, it was Triple Play.
Was it Triple Play? Yeah. Oh, it was Triple Play. That's right. Building 24 is where I see you otherwise.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
One of my favorite places.
Yes.
So, he reached out to me and it's great. We host it usually at Building 24.
Cool.
And I do it just to, build connections. I think it's great. I think.
Now, who do you have at that? Speaking of connections, who are you inviting to this networking thing?
So it's pretty open. Everyone's welcome. I like to see everyone from every avenue. I have, of course, other realtors, title people, mortgage lenders, contractors, photographers. The list goes on. I've had fashion people. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
She was actually working at a hospital in the relocation department. So she got me connected with the Lehigh Valley relocation department. So that was cool.
That's a great connection.
But on the side, she has her own stylist. That's the word I was looking for. Stylist business.
Interesting.
That she's starting. So,
that's cool.
Everyone from all over comes. And I think it's great. Even if I can't get a business deal out of meeting someone, I think the most important thing to get out of the networking events is that it lifts the veil of salesmanship, and you're surrounded with like-minded people that you can build connections with. It lifts that veil of seriousness and trying to sell people. And I love seeing other people grow and introducing other people too.
Connecting. It's all about connecting with other people. I think and what's interesting too, I'm thinking about this, is that don't you also feel that in our world today with real estate, I can't tell you how many times I could be talking to somebody on the phone for 2 years and have never met them.
Yeah.
And there's just something about that connection when you meet somebody then finally.
Yeah.
Like if we would do a transaction together, it would be a much different transaction because I know you.
Yeah.
And not to say that I can't represent who I represent, but I know a certain level of professionalism that you have, and I know that it's going to go okay because I trust you. Yeah. Because I know you as a person. So that networking is good because you're going to see people, contractors, plumbers, electricians, lawyers, title company, and now you actually get to meet them, and actually have a drink or be social.
It's great, and I can even invite people that I went to high school with that, I got into sales and business so young that I feel like I'm always playing catch up, but everyone's older than me. Yeah. And so comparison is the thief of joy, but it's also a great motivator. So now seeing people that I went to school with, fall into their career paths and they come out to my networking events.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's really cool. That should make you feel good too, right?
It does. It's awesome. I've one of my girlfriends, I played lacrosse with her in high school, and she's an attorney now, so she comes out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That is cool. Very cool. So the other thing I see, I think the networking thing is awesome. I think it's a great thing to do. There's not many people doing it. I think it's a great idea. I hope you keep it going.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be able to stop out at some point to one of those. It'd be awesome. The other thing was we were talking about social media, and I told you this several times since I've met you, that you have a really good knack or a talent with the social media. Everything that you're doing on Instagram, which is pretty much, I think, your forte is Instagram. Is where you do most of your stuff, I think.
Most of the stuff.
And Facebook, probably.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook, and then I trickle it out to LinkedIn and Twitter.
Yeah. Okay.
Sprinkle it out everywhere.
Yeah, sure. But the Instagram stuff is awesome. You're always providing information. It always looks very classy. Did you learn how to do this? Did you just pick this up? I mean, how did you figure out how to do that?
Yeah. So as soon as I got licensed, I thought that social media was my free advertising. You know, you're broke. You're sending out postcards and paying for ads really isn't, the first thing on your list. So right off the bat, I was constantly making Instagram posts and videos. I was really big on video since the beginning.
Yeah, it's good.
And then once I got more into the social media, there are platforms that you can subscribe to that will give you templates for content. I won't give away the name that I use, but they're out there. Yeah. And it really helps build that professionalism. And with AI that's out there now, I mean, you don't have to even write your own caption. I'm not saying I don't write my own captions. But that's okay. It's a tool. Yeah,
I mean, why not use it?
And all the apps out there like Canva, and you just learn. I've learned to design through there and really take off through there. But I always thought that video and social media was my best free advertising that I could do to reach the most amount of people.
And you do a good job. Like I said, the posts always look classy. They're always nice. It's always sharing something that's good. And you know what's funny about when you talk about, you don't want to share stuff, and I get that, with that. But what's interesting, just from being in our situation here at Keller Williams, you can tell 100 people or 100 agents, here's my secret, here's what I do.
Right.
And maybe 3 of them will do it.
Yeah.
It's the whole bring the horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Right.
It's that whole thing. So it's funny is that, you take it, whatever you're getting, whatever system you're using, you're taking it, but you're making it yourself.
Right. Yeah. They give you the template and you have to 100% customize it.
Yeah. Because the template is not your personality. It's not what you want to have out there. It's just a start.
Right.
It's a start for something.
And that's another reason I love video. I like to show my personality even going back to the networking events, it's great to finally meet people in person. And, if you do it at a happy hour and someone needs a drink to relax and get a little social, then that's fine. A lot of people are like that, So.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. I love that. So tell me, what are you doing? Are you using AI?
No.
You're not?
No, the only AI I probably use, there's an app called Captions where I like to record some of my videos, and it'll automatically record, your voice, and it'll give the closed captions.
Gives captions, for shorts and stuff
probably,
like that. Yeah,
that's probably like the most AI that I do.
Because we have a show that's going to be coming out about AI, so you'll want to see that.
I wish I had it in high school to write some essays, but that's what
we talked about that. We had another guy on, which has already aired. It was Craig Stonehall from Laughing Rock Technologies, and he talked about AI, and we talked about that situation. Imagine them saying you need to write a paper, and now all of a sudden, you just tell it, hey, I need to write a paper, and it just kind of does it.
Might want to proofread it, though, before you hand it in,
Yeah, this is true. Very true. Very true. So let's talk about moving forward. You had some situations, you said, where now you had one situation we're not going to share because this is PG rated. Hugo has children at home listening to this, so we got to be careful. But you've had some situations like, and you said you also have some ways to make sure that you don't put yourself in odd situations,
right?
As far as showing houses by yourself, things. Have you ever had a situation you're like, oh man, this is not good?
Yeah, I've had a couple. I've never let it get to a point where it's in person. Like I said, I've had situations where I didn't really know the person that well, but you can read signs and see if someone's serious or not. I've had male friends of mine come with me to showings,
good for you.
Even if they just stay in the car.
Yep.
They're there.
They're there.
And I'm a very, headstrong person. I'm very smart, leery.
Yeah.
If I'm working with someone and I really don't know them that well and it's not a personal referral or a repeat client, I make sure they're pre-approved, screened. I met them in person beforehand at my office, or I know them in some other regard.
Smart, because it's you always think it can't happen to you, but it happens.
Yeah, it's scary, especially with social media. I mean, there's creeps out there.
Yeah.
I've had people call me and talk my ear off on the phone, and you can just tell like you're a weirdo.
Yeah, right.
I've had to block them. I was like, I'm not the realtor for you.
Yeah, you need to call somebody else.
It's just like, I'm not. And they're like, oh, well, the house, this much. I want to spend this much. Don't care.
Do you say you should call Brad Weisman at that point?
100%.
Yeah. She gives out my number.
I say go to KW. They know what they're doing.
Now be careful. Now that's not nice. Let me think if there's anything else I wanted to ask you before. Was there anything you wanted to share at all? Is there anything you want to ask the 8-ball?
Is it a real 8-ball?
Yeah, it's a real, right? Hugo, this thing works.
It looks a lot lighter than...
No, it's a real one. It's just that it's red.
Okay.
Yeah. How about... Go ahead.
Will I be joining KW anytime soon?
It says If you're smart, you would.
That's not what it says.
That's so weird.
It probably says absolutely
that is
not.
so weird.
No,
That is so weird.
I'm loyal to my people.
I know you are, and that's great. Well, I want to thank you for coming in here today because we had a good time talking. So I hopefully you'll come back. Let me know how the networking group is going.
Yeah, our next one is coming up in December. We're doing something for the kids.
Okay, so December, what's the date?
We didn't set an exact date yet, but, because Christmas time's coming, we're going to do a lot with Safe Woman Berks.
Oh, good. Great organization.
And some BCPS, some kids we're going to get some presents for. So
awesome.
Yeah, for the kids.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Giving back, right?
Yep.
You got to do it. That's amazing. All right. There we have it. We did it.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, there you have it. Brenna Barkazzi. Right? I said it right.
The one and only.
The one and only. That's right. All right. There you have it. We will be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. Make sure you check us out every week. All right. Thanks a lot. Are your kitchen and bathroom remodels a little overdue? Well, now's your chance to call First Response Contracting. John Sellers will take care of you. 484-256-7136. They do residential and commercial, and they're licensed and insured. Give them a call at 484-256-7136.